Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, April 2nd. Um, English class. Miss your faces. Hope everybody's well. I just wanted to let you know that we had a meeting yesterday with the high school faculty, and Miss Stidham confirmed that we won't be going back to school before May 1st. Um, as you know, your final exams were scheduled the first week in May. So I don't know how all that works out. I'm currently planning on a final exam that you could start submitting the last week in April, which means we're probably online for the rest of the year. That said, we'll make the best of it. We still have chickens. Sorry, I'm out of breath. This one was hard to catch, and I wanted to get right on the video. We're going to do scene 6 today, scene 7 tomorrow. It's Friday. Then we're going to be done with the glass menagerie. There'll probably be some sort of short assignment for you to do. I'll post that tomorrow to finish up with the play. And then next week, we're going to change angles a little bit and start on working towards the final project, your final exam. Please don't stress too much about your grades. There'll be an opportunity if your grade isn't what it was or what you want it to be to fix that. Certainly not looking to fail any seniors. Just keep signing in, keep doing the work you're asked to do, and just try to have a positive attitude. So, scene 6, just to bring you up to speed in case you haven't watched the play or read along. And if you have, then you can just take this as an emphasis of what I think is important. So in scene 6, Tom does bring home a gentleman caller. And I'm just going to read some parts of the scene to you, and then we'll be done for the day. Comment on the video so I know you were here. Tom says, and so the following evening I brought Jim home to dinner. I had known Jim slightly in high school. In high school, Jim was a hero. He had tremendous good Irish nature and vitality with the scrubbed and polished look of a white chinaware. He seemed to move in a continual spotlight. He was a star in basketball, captain of the debating club, president of the senior class in the glee club, and he sang the male lead in the annual light opera. He was always running or bounding, never just walking. He seemed always at the point of defeating the law of gravity. He was shooting with such velocity through his adolescence that you would logically expect him to arrive at nothing short of the White House by the time he was 30. But Jim apparently ran into more interference after his graduation from Solden. His speed had definitely slowed. 6 years after he left high school, he was holding a job that wasn't much better than mine. He was the only one at the warehouse with whom I was on friendly terms. I was valuable to him as someone who could remember his former glory, who had seen him win basketball games and the Silver Cup in debating. He knew of my secret practice of retiring to a cabinet of the washroom to work on poems when business was slack in the warehouse. He called me Shakespeare. And while the other boys in the warehouse regarded me with suspicious hostility, Jim took a humorous attitude towards me. Gradually, his attitude affected the others. Their hostility wore off, and they also began to smile at me as people smile at an oddly fashioned dog who trots across their path at some distance. I knew that Jim and Laura had known each other at Solden, and I had heard Laura speak admiringly of his voice. I didn't know if Jim remembered her or not. In high school, Laura had been as unobtrusive as Jim had been astonishing. If he did remember Laura, it was not as my sister. For when I asked him to dinner, he grinned and said, "You know, Shakespeare, I never thought of you as having folks." He was about to discover that I did. So, we know where this is going, right? I mean, Laura is painfully, horribly shy. Jim's outgoing and amazing. Tom hasn't told Jim about Laura. Laura doesn't know who's coming to dinner, just that it's someone that her brother works with. Um, and now Laura and Amanda are getting ready for their gentleman caller. And Amanda says to Laura, "Why are you trembling?" And Laura says, "Mother, you've made me so nervous." Just as an aside, I would imagine most of us have been in this situation where you're trying to do something, or you're trying to get something done, and someone's like micromanaging you or watching over you, and that just makes you more nervous, and then you're less able to do it, and then they're frustrated because you're nervous, and then they watch you harder, and then you get even more nervous, and then it's just this cycle of nervousness. Amanda says, "How have I made you nervous?" Laura says, "By all this fuss, you make it seem so important." "I don't understand you, Laura. You couldn't be satisfied with just sitting at home, and yet whenever I try to arrange something for you, you resist it. Now take a look at yourself. No, wait just a moment. I have an idea." And Laura says, "What is it now?" And Amanda is trying to stuff her bra. That's what's going on in the scene. "Mother, what are you doing?" And Amanda says, "They call them gay deceivers." And Laura says, "I won't wear them." And Amanda says, "Oh, yes, you will. Because to be painfully honest, your chest is flat. You make it seem like we're setting a trap." And Amanda tells her, "All pretty girls are a trap. All pretty girls are a trap, a pretty trap, and men expect them to be." Is that true? Is that what people are doing? Are they setting traps? Is the whole illusion a trap, or not? I don't know. That might be something you can answer in the comments. Um, so now they are in the process of waiting for them to come. And Laura says, "What did you say his name was?" And Amanda says, "I don't remember." "Oh, yes, I do. It was Jim." Not Jim." "Yes, that was it, Jim. I've never known a Jim that wasn't nice." "Are you sure his name is Jim O'Connor?" "Yes, why?" "Is he the one that Tom used to know in high school?" "He didn't say so. I think you just got to know him at the warehouse." And Laura says, and it clicks, "There was a Jim O'Connor we both knew in high school. If that's the one that Tom is bringing to dinner, you'll have to excuse me. I won't come to the table." What sort of nonsense is this? Laura says, "You asked me once if I ever liked a boy. Don't you remember I showed you this boy's picture?" And Amanda says, "You mean the boy you showed me in the yearbook?" "Yes, that boy." Laura, Laura, were you in love with that boy?" "I don't know, Mother. All I know is I couldn't sit at the table if it was him." "It won't be him. It isn't the least bit likely, but whether it is or not, you will come to the table. You will not be excused." "I'll have to be, Mother." "I don't intend to humor your silliness. Laura, I've had too much from you and your brother both. Just sit down and compose yourself till they come. Tom has forgotten his keys, so you'll have to let them in when they arrive." "Oh, Mother, you answer the door." "I'll be in the kitchen busy." "Oh, Mother, please answer the door. Don't make me do it." "I've got to fix the dressing for the salmon." Fuss, fuss, silliness over a gentleman caller." Well, of course, Jim and Tom come to the door, and Amanda is in the kitchen, and Laura can't open it. The bell rings, and Amanda yells out, "Laura, that's your brother and Mr. O'Connor. Will you let them in, darling?" And Laura says, "Mother, you go to the door." And Amanda's furious. She just wants her to behave in the way she thinks she should and is just angry. And Laura says, "Please, please." And Amanda says, "What is the matter with you, you silly thing?" And Laura says desperately, "Please, you answer it, please." And Amanda tells her, "I told you I was not going to humor you, Laura. Why have you chosen this moment to lose your mind? Please, 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 you go. You'll have to get the door because I can't. I can't either." "Why?" "I'm sick." And Amanda says it. "I'm sick too of your nonsense. Why can't you and your brother be normal people? Fantastic whims and behavior." So this is a really interesting line. If you watch the play with Katharine Hepburn, uh, Katharine Hepburn doesn't say the line the way Tennessee Williams wrote it. Katharine Hepburn makes it nicer, I think. Katharine Hepburn says, "Why can't you and your brother act like normal people?" And I think there's a big difference there. Saying, act your age or act like you care or act whatever is a lot different than be. I feel like Tennessee Williams is having Amanda recognize here in this scene that her children aren't normal. When she says, "Why can't you and your brother be normal people?" That means something different than act normal, I think. So why can't you be normal? That's harsh. So we're at 10 minutes. The only other thing that happens in this scene is Laura is forced to go to the door. She gets all her courage together and she gets the door, and they try to have dinner, but Laura can't. She can't do it. She can't sit there. She's sick to her stomach. So she is in fact excused from dinner. And then we'll do scene 7 tomorrow. So you've got a couple of ways to comment. You can comment on how well behaved this chicken is. She's been really very pleasant. You can comment on, the difference between acting normal and being normal, or you can comment on whether I don't even think it's just women. Are people traps? Do people uh, trap each other by putting on some sort of fakeness to get other people to believe there's something they aren't, either through I don't know, you figure it out and add something. So don't forget to sign in for attendance. There's an attendance assignment. Sign in for that. Um, you're obviously watching the video if you hear me say that, so there's no point saying watch the video. Be kind to each other. Be safe out there. Um, this is really not the way I had hoped your senior year to go, and I'm sure you feel the same way. If you need anything, email or message me. Uh, I know it's difficult times right now, and I just want to know you've got support and people in your corner, and we'll get through it. We'll get through it. Everything's going to be okay, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. So take care, everyone. Have a great Thursday. It's almost the weekend, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.